The reason brick is so attractive is that strong sense of place that it brings in much, though not all of the country, and also the fact that it's inherently attractive and organic material. Create Streets is a social enterprise. We're based here in London in Lambeth Walk, and our mission is to help neighbourhoods, councils, landowners, developers, industry, civic society, politicians to create places that are lovable and beautiful, and to steward existing places to be more livable, more walkable, more humane. We research planning and building design and other policy, how that affects the built environment and what does and doesn't get built and how much of it gets built. We do lots of what we call co-design, so that's working with neighbourhood groups to help them effectively influence either local planning policy or individual developments. So we don't help people say no to development, we help them say yes to what they want. I can't speak highly enough of the support that Ibstock and Joe Hudson have been giving to Create Streets for these last few years. It's not just that they've been helping us raise funds and support communities in poor neighbourhoods. They've actually also been helping our thinking about the built environment and helping expand our knowledge with some of the expertise and the deep knowledge, of course, that Ibstock has about materials, sustainability, and if you like, the physical creation of the built environment. Brick is consistently popular in traditional brick areas. It is true if you go to bits of Dorset or Gloucestershire, which have got a strong local limestone, Hamstone or Chilmark stone, that is what people will go for. But once you're outside the belt of limestone that runs through England and a few sandstone and granite areas, brick is very clearly the preferred material. People want greenery in their streets and squares. They want somewhere that feels like here, not like anywhere. They want somewhere that is safe to walk and cycle through. They want it to be attractive. I mean, these themes of somewhere that feels humane and homely and that we can influence and it's not done at us by some remote entity, whether that's a council or an investor or someone over there. Those themes are, I would argue, based on our experience, absolutely ecumenical. It is striking how aware people are, particularly I'd say outside big cities. It's striking how aware people are of local build materials. So if you look at the environmental psychology as to why we like some types of place and some types of material, most of us prefer a more organic material. And of course, brick is clay, it's burnt earth. It has texture and fissipariousness, it breaks up the light, it has an organic detail to it. But as you step back from it, it resolves itself into a coherent complexity and a framework. Our brains find it reassuring, and most of us prefer it to something that's too shiny or too aggressive or too vibrant. We should also be thinking about the resilience and durability of buildings and places. And the lovely thing about brick, of course, is it can last hundreds and hundreds of years. And we do need desperately to factor that into our decision making and our understanding of environmental sustainability. If we can create buildings and places that people like and love, we will find new uses for old buildings. Carlo Elefante wrote, "The greenest building is the one that already exists." If we knock down a Victorian semi-detached house to build the most passive house, energy efficient building we can possibly imagine, we've basically burnt between 80 and 100 years of embodied carbon to replace it. So that building needs to be more energy efficient for about a century just to catch up with where you were to start with. One lovely example of the reuse, the recycling of an old building with a deep sense of sustainability is the Wellington building in Morden in South London. A pretty heartless and ugly concrete building, but with a robust frame that was still solid and in good shape. If you like, it had the face scraped off it and a slightly higher, a more attractive brick and terracotta, sort of modern, Art Deco you might say, a facade was created. And if you look at it closely, it's got a lovely combination of patterned tiles, shell shapes and glazed tiles. It really brings it to life. And so it rhymes with what's there. It's not identical to the historic houses as you march down the street, but it's got the same rhythm as they do, whereas the previous building was rather disparaging of its neighbourhood. So I think that's a really good example of taking an old building, recycling it into something more attractive and repurposing it for the next 100 years.